suffer persecution and hunger. The good end is for those of you who hold fast to Allah and his religion, Islam. Well, the Allah he gave us is in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. So if we hold fast to that, we will be the winners in the end. We don't have nothing else. We've tried everything else. So what is there to do? The only alternative is death. And it's like a living death now. Only thing we haven't done is lie down. So we might as well hold on to that which promises what we all desire. Security. Our children to have a better future than ourselves. Our children to not have to fear being killed out in the streets. Not fearing, not given an opportunity to let their talents and their abilities to fully mature into success. All of these things. This is what a Savior does. He saves us from anything and everything that impedes or blocks or prevents us from acquiring what we look at as being heaven. Well, this is the God that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave to us. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that Master Farad Muhammad is the name that the God comes under. He said that for 2,000 years, the one that you had been expecting and looking for to come in the name of Jesus is in the name of Master Farad Muhammad. And that's the proof. Listen, Jesus is a Greek term, and it means justice. It means Savior. But you have it mixed up. Our people, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, just think, God is so weak that he can have his son, after being killed by the Romans and all the other authorities of Herod, that here he is with a wounded heart, split open, still suffering, and he's going to sit by God for 2,000 years, and God don't have the power to heal him, and yet he's going to send him back down. He said, you don't have the understanding. He said in a Muhammad Speaks article, 1957, Jesus, sign of a future Jesus. He said, you have two histories of Jesus, as I have said time and again, and even an apostle's history, all under the name of Jesus of 2,000 years ago. So this is representative of another Jesus coming at another time in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. This is the one that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has given to us. This is the one that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, behind me there's no one coming but Allah in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. But we have to know in what context and in what personage he will be coming in. Just look at the works. By works. That's what a God is judged by. The one who does what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says Master Farad Muhammad will do, that's the one. Like it or not, accept it or not, that's the one. And he said Farad is a name independent of the others. He said, but it is a name, just as in our prayers, that we all must bow to or be destroyed. This is what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is pointing out to us. This is what the Savior's Day represents to us. It represents a Savior coming to us, qualifying us to personify what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, the making of a new world under that Savior, in which he will not allow man to rule, but he will come and rule himself. But now we're going to get on with what you really come here for, should have come here for. And that is to hear it straight from our beloved leader and teacher. To hear it straight from the one that if it were not for him maintaining his post under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we would have no idea of Master Farad Muhammad. So please help me in bringing before you our beloved leader and teacher of the New World Nation of Islam, Field Supreme Minister Ali Mahdi Muhammad. Peace, peace.
Peace, peace. Assalamu alaikum. How do you beautiful family? Yes. All praise be to Allah. Yes. Sit down, please. Have a seat. We thank Allah that you was able to come out. We got brothers and sisters coming all the way from Florida, Georgia, from near and from far. And we thank Allah much. We're so honored to be here in your presence. It's an honor to have served with you all these years, the few who held on to the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So how everybody feeling? Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I brought my notes, and I think I can put my stuff back. All right, and I've got my water. So we're going to be all right here in a minute. So everybody feel good? Yeah, well, it's a good thing, because this is what time it is. So serve the Lord with gladness. It doesn't matter whether or not we have trials. It doesn't matter whether or not our mission takes us over the mountains, through the deserts, through the swamps. It doesn't matter. We're just happy to be soldiers in Allah's army, and we're happy to have work to do. It doesn't matter if it's hard or whether or not it's soft. We serve the Lord with gladness. We generally stay with the history of Master Farrakhan Muhammad, but we're going to break away from that tradition today, and we're going to give you the history. This is my Islamic history. This is the history of the po' boy right from the beginning to this very day, if we have the time, because there's a lot of stuff, and everybody needs to hear it. I was talking with some of the wise scientists yesterday, and they were saying, you know, everybody really needs to hear the history. And I agree. We got some beautiful history. So without taking up too much of the time, let me get right on into our history. We have been accused of changing the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's not so. We quote what he wrote, and we can, anything that we say, we can show you where you can find it in his books, his writings, or whatever. They say, your poor brother, Muhammad, teaches that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is Almighty God Allah. Well, that's true. But I'm not the one that said that. He said that. And I believe it. Now, we're going to give a little of history dealing with 3 times that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad not only told me, but the whole nation who he was. First off, in 1957, coming home from the military, young man, just getting back to the States, came in from Germany, didn't have no work, pretty much just hanging around. So I goes to find my old friend, Brother Rudy. It just so happens Brother Rudy is the reefer man. He sells reefer. So I spend a lot of time over at Brother Rudy's house. Now come on, y'all. Now, I ain't the only one now. I ain't the only one. I know some of y'all. You understand? Now, it just happens that I'm at Brother Rudy's house, and this brother named Solomon came by to buy some herb, and he started talking to Brother Rudy. I'm in Rudy's bedroom, which is adjacent to the kitchen. Rudy and Solomon is talking in the kitchen. I'm in the bedroom listening to Horace Silver playing some jazz and partaking of some good herb. And I hear the brother say, that the black man is God, the white man is the devil, Jesus was a black man. And I'm really not paying too much attention. But then he had said, and flying carpets ain't no joke. And when I heard that, I just stood up and I came to the kitchen door and I said, hey, what did you just say? Now, the brother was kind of taken off a little bit because my demeanor, my body language, my attitude seemed to be like, maybe threatening. He was like, well, Rudy, you tell him what I was saying, because I gotta go. And he leaves. So I said, Rudy, what? He said, yeah, well, see, I've been going to this temple meeting, and I said, well, how much does it cost to go to the temple? He said, don't cost nothing. I said, well, when you going again? He said, I'm going tonight. I said, I'm going with you. From that point on, I was a believer. Matter of fact, one of the first things I said was, when I woke up, I said, everything is for real, and if the Honorable Elijah Muhammad ain't got but one follower, it's me. As it has turned out, at that particular time, there was only about 13 registered brothers in Newark. And they referred to themselves as the council. I made up the 13th brother. To this very day, I'm the only brother left standing of the original 13 council following Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I'm the only brother left from the original field supreme staff. But anyhow, this is what happens. I started going around to the meetings every chance I got. Anytime I heard anything about the brothers getting together, I wanted to be there. I began to try to get all the lessons I could get. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad appeared in Boston in '58. It's the first time I seen him. Sitting up in the balcony, when the messenger came out, I looked and I said, he is a little man, because I've been hearing he's short. When I saw him, I said, he is a little man. And to me, it might not have been the case, but to me, he looked right at me and said, as insignificant as I might appear to you, nevertheless, I am the man. I said, okay. All right. When we got back to Newark, it only made me redouble trying to get as much as I could from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's lessons and everything else. Now, at the time, the council, it was good brothers. They believed they was trying to teach and whatnot. But most of those brothers wasn't really doing exactly what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Let's put it that way.
In the name of Allah.
I was not judgmental of these brothers. I could see that some of the stuff that they were still doing, they wasn't supposed to do, but my interest was getting myself together. So I ran around collecting all the lessons I could. And then I said, I had to, Elijah Muhammad said we were supposed to have short haircuts. So that meant I had to get rid of my do. I was walking around here looking like Tony Curtis, all finger waved up and stuff. So I had to get rid of that because Elijah Muhammad said we can't do that. Then I realized how to say we can't drink, so I had to stop the drinking. He said we ain't supposed to smoke no cigarettes, so now that was kind of hard for me. As a matter of fact, I thought that the reefer smoking was going to be hard, but it was that old nasty tobacco that was the hardest thing for me. That was the hardest trial. That was the hardest thing to me that I ever did. Stopping that smoking them cigarettes. However, the message said brothers need to be getting married, they need to be taking care of their family, they need to get a job. And when they get a job, they need to get a man a good 8 hours. Don't go to the man's job and just try to hide and keep from working. So that's what I was trying to do. I went, got married, moved over here to 15th and 11th, South 11th, start working 2 jobs, night and day. And the council, they continued doing what they was doing. But there was that separation because now I'm gone. I'm working, man. I'm working. I'm trying to take care of the business that I'm supposed to be taking care of. So there came a time when, because brothers and sisters was beginning to stand up, they was beginning to hear the teachings, and they was beginning to come around to 12 Court Street where we was headquarters at that time. And more young brothers was coming on the scene. So the council agreed that they needed to get Brother Al, because I was one of the youngest brothers of the council. As a matter of fact, I was only 19 years old. They wanted me to get there because they figured them young brothers could relate to Brother Al. So it so happened that once I started coming around to meet the new brothers, it was about 6 of them. 4 of them was veterans like myself, had just got out the military. So we clicked right up. I wound up with a squad long before I was even made officially a lieutenant. It was later on that I was officially made a lieutenant. But at that particular time, those young brothers bonded with me, and because I was the one on the scene with the lessons and stuff, they continued to stick close to me and receive their lessons, and we started going to the temple. Every time the temple would open, we would be the first ones up in there, standing posts, cleaning up, setting up. So, the council began to refer to us as the Temple Brothers, because it appeared that now Brother Al, he done got with these young brothers and they don't come around no more. They ain't trying to be into what we was into before. So it was like a separation. Not really, but Brother Al and them brothers up on the hill and we downtown, and they's doing what they's doing, we doing what we doing. All right, now, I want you to remember that, because the separation came early. Now, because of my experience with the council, and I gotta remind you, we have no condemnation of them brothers. They are responsible for what they did with their faith. I'm responsible for mine. They had their faults, I had mine. But because of the experience, I began to tell the brothers in my squad, these new brothers who had just come and got with me, I began to tell them, look, we got one leader and teacher, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's who we live and die for. Not the ministers, not the captains, not the lieutenants, but the messenger. All right. We'll move along. As we began to grow, we became the fastest growing temple in the nation. We began to have our fruit and MGT meetings at Temple 7 under Minister Malcom X. We got too big for the houses, so we started looking for a place that we can teach. And the first place we got was 142 South Orange Avenue, little storefront. Minister James started sending Assistant Minister Curtis from Temple 7 to come over and teach on Temple nights. We grew so fast till everybody was talking about Newark, the new follower of Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So, the messenger came to Newark to see his new followers. He came to the Rickery Auditorium down on Elizabeth Avenue. I'm going a little fast here. I done left out some stuff. Okay, we're growing, we're getting big. Minister Malcom, he wants us to continue to go to the fruit and to the MGT in Temple 7. He also wants Newark to turn over all of their poor rate to Temple 7. Okay, now, I'm the low man on the totem pole. I don't care, who get the poor rate. But the brothers who was actually in charge, the ones who was acting as ministers and captains and whatnot, had been under Malcom in 7 and had a big fallout with him, and that's one of the reasons why they left New York and came to Newark in the first place. So now they are saying, no, we in Newark, we keeping our poor rate, this is our house. So Minister Malcom, he came over there with some of his fruit. Had a special meeting. Again, like I said, I'm the little guy. I never even open my mouth whenever I'm with the brothers in the council because I want to hear, I ain't got nothing to say. I just want to hear Islam. So we sitting in here and Malcom is threatening Newark. Y'all some big-headed scientists told y'all you got to bring the poor rate to New York. Y'all acting like y'all ain't gonna do what we say. And then he opens up his coat, his suit coat, and he's got a shoulder holster and a .45. He said, if you don't do like you're told, some heads gonna roll. So now I'm like, wait a minute, this thing here, seems like it's getting out of hand. And then Minister Kareem of the council, he said, well, Malcom, if you come to get ahead, you got to bring a head to get ahead. So Malcom said, yeah, well, we ready. And that's when I stood up. That's the first time that the council even knew I could talk. I got up, I said, ho, wait a minute. All of y'all, you're acting like we don't have no leader and teacher. One of y'all need to get on that phone, tell the Honorable Elijah Muhammad what's going on, and let him tell us what to do. Everybody said, yeah, that's right, brother. Praise be to Allah, that's right. Malcom gets on the phone. The messenger tells Malcom, go on back to New York. Leave these brothers alone. He's going to send Minister James as the agent to help us establish the temple in Newark. And he also told them that he wanted one of the brothers from among us to step up and volunteer to be the minister. Okay. Malcom, he was mad. The rocks all in his jaws. He took his little fruit and he left. We had our little meeting. Said, all right, now you heard what the messenger say. One of us gonna have to step up. Now, who gonna be the minister? Everybody had an excuse. Everybody had an excuse. The brother that was acting as a minister, like I said, we don't want to, be judgmental about folks. They did good work, and that's what we want to relate to the future, that they did good work. But each one of these brothers claimed that their house was dirty, stuff they was doing, they couldn't be the minister, they couldn't represent the Honorable Elijah Muhammad until they could clean up their act. Every one of them. Brother that was acting as a minister, he said, I got this, man. I clean that up. Another brother Captain Joseph, yeah, well, I can't do that right now. Everybody declined. Okay. Of course I couldn't, because I couldn't even read or write. So my thing was, man, I can't be no authority. I can't even read or write. All right. Minister James came. Made it clear that he was only there to help us establish the temple. We continued to grow. Then here comes the messenger at the Rickery Auditorium. Man, we got some beautiful history. When he came on the stage, he said, I almost didn't come. He said, it was trying to tell me that if I got out of the bed, see, I was sick. He said, it was trying to tell me that if I got out of the bed, that I would probably die, because I had a temperature of 104. And they was telling me that if I tried to make this trip, I would probably die. He said, but as I was laying there, I could hear the voice of Master Farad Muhammad telling me, brother, never miss an opportunity to teach. And he said he got up, and came on the Noor. He said, I am so happy that I came. He says, I see Allah in the audience. I see him, don't you? Me and the brothers, our little squad, we sitting here. When he said he's seeing Allah in the audience, we start looking around because we think he's talking about Master Farad Muhammad of 1930. So we looking, and he looked and smiled and he said, don't you see him? I said, no, I don't guess it's time yet. I said, no, I don't guess it's time yet. And then he went on to say how happy he was, how he felt good, he wasn't sick no more, and how he had been waiting 379 years for that day. All right, now, move on. Temple is growing. Brothers is learning their lessons. We soldiering. Brother Minister James made me a lieutenant. And you got to remember now, all of us is 20, 21, just out the military. And I was, when you might have heard the expression, folks in the military, that a particular individual who was really into the military, they would say they was gung-ho. Well, I was like that. I loved the military. That was the only thing that I had ever did that I really liked and felt like I could do it for the rest of my life.